Hey everyone, Quentin's here. So in today's video, it's gonna be episode 3 of the Get Started on the Davra platform training course. So let's just jump in. In today's episode, we're gonna talk about digital twins. So digital twins are kind of a key element of the architecture of an application inside the Davra platform. And basically, what a twin is, I have some representation here. It's just an electronic representation of a physical thing. It's a concept. Like basically, instead of having inside the platform devices like we saw in the previous units that are referring mostly to sensors, physical sensors, we also want to be able to map things. So it's going to be the aggregation of multiple sensors. So in the kind of here the image we can see here, we have what we call twin types. So imagine this in kind of object relation mapping, like as a class, and then you can have like an instance of that type of twin to be represented. So for example, here we got 3 twin types: country, district, building. And inside the Davra platform, for example, we'll have one instance of the country twin called USA. Then we'll have 3 district twins: New York, California, Oregon. And then we'll have the different building inside each of the districts. So it will be another twin type building, and it will be like the building, the twin facilities, etc., etc. So here, as you can see, we're mapping physical things as digital entities in the platform. What's going to be really good is going to be a great tool for us to group devices and group data points. So given the example, or let's say we're monitoring a room and we have one thermometer and a sensor that's reporting temperature, and then we got another sensor which is reporting humidity, let's say a humidity sensor. What's going to be really nice here is we'll be able to query both data without having to query individual sensors. So basically, if the data is properly marked with a digital twin, we just be able, okay, give me the temperature, give me the humidity for that room, and it will go across all the devices inside the room and give us back the data. So I try to make this a bit clearer, I suppose, while during this tutorial. Here's another example we have of twin types with, like, for example, some caregiver and client and devices. So we got twin types of caregiver. So caregiver has, under umbrella, is linked to different clients. And each client has actually different sensors. So that's what I was mentioning, for example, with the room is different sensors. So for example, if we want to get the health of Bob, well, we're gonna get data from the heart rate monitor, but also from this motion sensor and his mattress, let's say, to monitor sleep. So that'll be this type of aggregation we'll do. Okay, so let's get started. So directly here, we're gonna be back in QuentinDavra.com. So digital twins are available here on the left side, but first, before creating a twin, we'll have to create twin types. So digital twin types here, as you can see, have like 2 twin types, and this one is the default twin types that everybody has in their tenant. This is used by the rules engine mostly to create stateful incidents. But here we're gonna look at the building one. So if you don't have a new, have it already created, you can add a new twin type here, typing here building, and then press create. You can add description if needed. So here I'm just going to open this to show you. In twin type can have custom attributes, so this could be useful also in the rules engine or some stage to be able to retrieve certain thresholds. So I can give you an example where, let's say we are in the hospital, so the building is in a hospital, and we want to have a threshold. Let's say we want to make sure the temperature in this hospital is not above 20 degrees. Well, we can set here in the custom attributes a threshold, and then it can be used by rules engine. So let's say then we have another type of building which is a school, but like the school here, the threshold for temperature, we're like, it can go up to 24 degrees, we're happy with that. Then we can just put the threshold 24, and then having one rule that will look across all the twin and make sure like the given twin threshold would exceed a certain level. So that's it. So okay, let's go to digital twin now. So I have here, I think, a building called the Empire State. So that's the one I referenced in the tutorial, but we're gonna create a new one for today's video. So it's gonna be because I'm French, it's gonna be like Versailles. No, let's say the capital. Maybe the capital. We need to specify here the twin type. So building, and here we can also here give some specific custom attribute for the twin. Or add extra labels. So by default, when you create a twin, it'll be labeled with its own twin. So it can sound a bit odd, but like behind the scene in terms of permission, it makes more sense, and we'll explore that later in some of the course. So do not worry. So I'm going to create the capital here as a building. New digital twin has been created. As you can see, it's here, and as you can see, it has a label of himself, but that's perfectly fine. Okay. So now, next step is we got this twin, and we don't get any data or any device linked to that twin, so it's currently not really useful. But what we're gonna do is, as following here, we'll create two sensors, two devices. The first one will be a thermometer, the other one will be a humidity sensor, and then we going to label these devices with the twin, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So going back there, up, so device listing, I start to have a lot of device here, so just to avoid the noise, I'm just gonna I'm gonna call them capital thermometer. Okay, and I'm gonna create capital humidity sensor. Too long, so I'm just gonna put this. Okay, and if I go now in device listing, I see my two devices. I will do the following. So I'm gonna add a new label, so like we saw how to add label in the previous video, and here, as you can see now, we have a new label. Well, it was already there, but like with the name of digital twin type. So I'm just gonna click on building, and here we got a list of the building twin, and we're gonna pick capital save. So now that device is kind of owned by the capital twin. So every data point that is going to be pushed against that device will also be tagged as one of the capital data point. Okay, so really useful. So we done this for the thermometer. We're going to do the same. For the humidity sensor. Add building capital save. All right. So now it's all good. So it's linked. It's time for us, I think, to push some data. So what I'll do is, I think I already have created these two metrics. If you haven't created metrics in your tenant, you can just add here in settings metrics. Make sure you got temperature and have humidity. If you don't, you just can add it here. Okay, so we're gonna create an app and try to play around with this new device and twins. So up, we're gonna call it unit 3 up, in 3 here. We're gonna edit the app. So I think the first thing we'll need to do is add this data generator. So input control, input select. So this one will be for humidity. Okay, and the other one up. Click on the button plus up, input control, knob, set. And this one will be for temperature. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong type, not the one I wanted. Up. Temperature. Okay, so now we got this here. Oh, up. Temperature. What we'll need to do following the procedure here, we'll have to add a line chart, and we'll be able to display both things. So we're gonna add a multi-line chart. So it's a new type of chart we haven't seen yet, and I'll just explain how it works, and then we'll get started. So add a new chart, multi-line graph, up. So here will be humidity plus temperature. So the first one here would be humidity. So basically what we say here, like, okay, we want multiple lines. The first line would be the humidity, all right? And the second one would be, so here we'll go by devices, and this will make more sense later, because we'll go by something else. By devices, and we'll put seconds, an average of 5 seconds. We're happy with this. We're gonna add another one. It's gonna be temperature. Okay, group by devices, so it'll be 1 line per device. And if we go second and 5 seconds. All right, apply settings. No data, that's normal. Okay, because here we don't get any data. So just gonna reduce this. It should be big enough here. What I'm gonna add here is a new filter for building. It'll be just easier for me to be like, okay, select all the capital sensors. I'm gonna pick here the humidity. Here we'll pick thermometer, humidity, temperature, every 5 seconds, every 5 seconds. And if I hear like 60 minutes, I want you to auto refresh every 5 seconds. Okay, we already done that in the previous. So as you can see here, we got 2 lines, and each of them are like, you know, our thermometer sensor and our humidity sensor, and it's just plotting here. So with random data. Okay. So that's fine, but here, like, you know, the name are the name of our, so you got like the metric name dash the name of the sensor, and that's fine. But what we would like is, okay, I just want to know what the data of individual sensor. I want to know what's the metrics, like the data point of my building. All right. So what I would expect, instead of having capital humidity sensor, I would just like, oh, give me the humidity of the capital. I don't want to know the humidity of the device. So what we'll do is we'll build a custom widget, and we'll add it, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, just to change how the legend here are generated, and just to make it a bit more readable. Okay, so let me make sure I haven't mistaken anything here. Group by device, group by building. Okay, yeah. So in order to show what the change is needed, what I'll do is I'll make the same widget a duplicate, but with a slight difference. It is, instead of having here group by devices, I'll just put group by building. Okay. So here it'll be like make an aggregate, like group everything, every device is inside that building. So what change will appear now is just in the legend, the naming will be a bit different. So if I apply the setting here, we're like, okay, I want the humidity for the given building, I want the temperature for the given building. But as you can see here, this is rendering the building UUID, and it's not giving us a nice worded name of building. All right, so we're gonna leave this here for now. So it's done, we're happy with it. What we'll do is we clone this widget and make some code changes to just change how this legend is processed. Okay, so in order to do that, following the tutorial here, we're going to create a custom widget. So what we'll do is we're going to clone. So to clone a widget, we're going to, let's exit this. Chart and graphs on the bottom side here. Multi-line chart is the one we want to copy from, and we're just going to clone that widget. Okay, so here we arrive in kind of an ID where we'll be able to do some config. Let me move my camera here. So here's just like some example of config. Just bring it back here. So here we got the preview. Here we got some settings. So the settings, to pick the metric you want to render in your chart. And here's the code. So we got an index.html, an index.js, some CSS, and the settings files here. All right. So what we'll do here will be fairly easy, and basically the code is already ready for us. So the first thing we'll need to do is just change where the JavaScript is loaded from. So currently by default it's using this AM chart connecting widgets.js, which is a generic script available on the platform. But because we want to make some changes, we'll have to just redirect to the index.js script. So we'll make sure here first we replace here line 20. So we're going to get rid of this line here. Like, we don't want the generic script, we want the custom script for this widget. So we're going to save that. And now, of course, this should be broken, but it's fine because we're going to fix it soon. So here we can wipe whatever is inside index.js. And the code is available in GitHub, so you can find it as open source. So if you click here, we'll get like the code that should be working. I can explain quickly what's going on, but basically it is just rendering the chart and rendering the legend and the data and querying the data and all the stuff. So if you want, you can go through the detail of the code here. It's quite commentated. So I'm just gonna copy this up. Okay, copy that extra line here. So it copied an extra line at the bottom. I had just to get rid of it. I don't know, it's when I got the raw data for some reason. Something got copied extra. Okay. So here, as you can see, the chart has been rendered, and if we want to check here, we can do here. So if we look for temperature, and we group by building, and I think we need to apply settings. As you can see now, the legend has been overwritten and is no longer saying temperature with the UID, but now with a capital, which is the name of the twin. So if we rename the twin, let's say we'll also rename this here. All right, so we're happy with the code. What I can do is publish it. So multi-line graph custom legend, and we're going to put in the custom category, and we're going to publish the widget. So now that it's published, we'll be able to basically load it inside our application. So if I go back to application, unit 3, I can now go there, and in there, the custom component section here, we'll be able to see our new components we just created. So I'm gonna pick this one, select. So we're gonna do the same work. So it'll be humidity, group by building, 5 seconds, and we're gonna add here temperature, group by building, seconds, 5. Apply settings, and here we're back new 10. New humidity alert temp chart. Okay, done. We have it here, so basically all right, so as you can see, it's just exactly the same chart, but the only difference will be in the legend, how it's processed, right? So that was just an example of how we can configure a custom widget. You can even create your widgets from scratch, so like without any template, you just start from scratch and start building it. There is some useful function you might find to be able to link it to some of the filters to make sure you have the filters. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. That was probably a quicker video than usual, but we've been really good today. So that was kind of the first look at digital twin, and that's something that's going to be recurrent whenever you want to map your application. You'll have to what I call elevate the data from the sensor to some twins. It'll be easier to build the front end. It'll be easier to query the data. You won't have to look at individual sensor, just like target everything by twins. So yeah, that's it for that unit 3. Next unit will be on the device agent. So let's keep guys stay posted. Sorry, we'll try to get this next week. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach to us. Don't forget to visit developer.davra.com. Developer.davra.com for a lot of resources on the platform, and if you have any questions or inquiries, you can go on davra.com and find forms there. So davra.com, request a demo, book a demo, or contact the sales. Alright, that's it for today. Peace.